Do you need to study to become a software developer? Let's find out. Welcome, my name is Anton from Code and Success. I've been working as a software developer for the past 5 years, currently as a freelancer. In today's video I'm happy to share with you my opinion if you really need to study to work as a software developer. So, I am from Germany. In Germany, the situation is a bit unique. Instead of studying, you can do something called Ausbildung. This is unique for our country, maybe a few other countries. It means, instead of going to university, you go to a company, you tell them, hey, I want to become a software developer or some other profession. Can you teach me? And they will be like, yes. And then you basically work for them for 3 years. You get less money than minimum wage because you are not a skilled worker yet, because you are simply learning, but still you get some money, around 700-800 euros per month, which is enough for the beginning. And you go to the company, you learn there for a few weeks, and then you go to a special trade school for a few weeks, and you always mix it. And after 3 years you finish an exam, and after you pass it successfully, you are a certified software developer in my case, or other case in some other profession. So there is of course some differences to going to university, but after all you have a degree and you can go apply somewhere. But now after several years I noticed how companies think, I noticed how employers think, I noticed how I think when I need help for my projects, and me and other company owners, we don't care about your degrees. Of course it's good to have a degree, but first of all my opinion is you don't need a degree to become a software developer. But still, if you get a degree, it's a good thing, and I will not say don't do it. But if your time is important to you and if you just want to become a software developer as quick as possible for whatever reason, then you can do it. And those degrees are good usually because you learn the theory on a deep level. But I am not a friend of like spending 3 to 5 years in the university just to learn the theory. I am someone who wants to be practical. I want to learn the theory also in the meantime, of course. And for that I'm not a big fan of universities, and I don't plan to go to one. And if you think similar like me, then here's what you need to do. First of all, let's think about how do employers think? How does a company think? The company needs help. They need programmers to build the projects, to build the apps and websites. Now, a degree shows that you are somehow not completely stupid, that you know a thing or two, that you studied hard for your exams and you passed them, that you have some general knowledge, not some practical knowledge, but some theory knowledge. And that's fine for the beginning. It's already some kind of level to show, and that will help you, of course, to get the foot better in the door, to get your first job. But big companies, yes, they will care about degree. If you don't have a degree, you will not have a good chance to get inside it. And that's fine. There's millions of small companies who are happy to take you because they compete with the big companies, and they cannot pay as much salary as the big company. And so of course people with a degree, they will try to get into the best company there is. And people with no degrees or with bad grades in the degree, they will try of course the other companies which will not take them. Which doesn't mean they're worse. No, you maybe earn less in the beginning, but you can learn much more. So, let's say you watched my other videos and followed the steps to become a backend developer or a frontend developer or a full stack developer, and now you want to get your first job. You don't have a university degree, and now what you can do? You can show off to a potential employer, to a potential company owner, that you know what you're doing, that you're burning with a desire to show yourself, to prove yourself, and then someone will hire you. Yes, it's that easy. That's what you have to do. So, the first thing you have to know, of course, you have to be a developer. That means you have to know how to develop. You have to either know how to be a front-end developer or how to be a back-end developer. And in the best case, of course, you make some projects for yourself where you make a nice, cool website, your personal website, or some kind of silly project, a restaurant management app with a database, with a cool backend API and entities and whatsoever and logic. Doesn't really matter. What matters is you make some projects and you publish them on GitLab, on GitHub, so you can show them off, so you can show your code. And then you make a nice CV, you put all these things there inside, and then you apply to hundreds of these small companies with your CV, which shows your projects, and they can check your code, they can check, what is this person like? You also write down your soft skills, that you're a quick learner, and that you have a burning desire, and that you don't give up easily. These 3 things are good, and you start simply applying. And they can see all these great things about you, and some of them will be interested. They will call you and ask for an interview. Or maybe they will ask for you to do a small, simple task, which also happened in my case back then. And now don't say like, oh, I'm a great developer, I don't need to show you anything. No, do the simple little task, go to the interviews, show that you have knowledge, show that you have desire, show that you're capable of learning quickly. And if all these things align, of course you will get your first job. But what then? You get your first job, and that's what matters the most. In the first job you have to learn as much as you can, because those little projects that you build, they're good and all, but you really learn when you work for clients, when you work for your boss, when you work on real projects that are used in the real world. And simply work there for a few years, and then no one will care about if you have a degree or not. Okay, Google, Facebook, Amazon, they might care about if you have a degree or not, but there's millions of other companies, and they will not care after several years of you working for a company if you have a degree or not, because you already showed for several years that you're capable, that you know how to work, that you do a great job. You can show off what you did during those years, you can explain those things really well, and all the doors will be open for you. You can do whatever you want, and that's really as easy as it is. In the beginning you will have a bit trouble to find your first job, but that is the biggest hurdle that you have to climb over. And for that, be creative. When they don't respond to your emails, print out your CV, go to the offices of these companies and just try to talk to the boss. Like, be creative, use your head, and I'm sure you can do it. You can find your first job and then work as a software developer and make good money, work from home, and most importantly, enjoy your cool work. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.